And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand, guys. I hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's live stream, it's an interesting one. We are going to watch some footage of some Labour MPs, of course, refusing to act on an Islamist terror group who are operating in the UK. We're going to be watching and reacting to that footage, whilst also going over a few other bits and pieces. So do get involved in the live chat if you're watching this live, or if you're watching it on a replay, do get involved in the comments section below. So recently, the United Arab Emirates had placed 11 individuals, mostly Emirate nationals, and 8 British-based entities on the list of individuals and organisations supporting terrorism. According to the UAE State, a news agency, this included individuals and entities that were accused of links to the terrorist Muslim Brotherhood organisation. The move is a part of the UAE's ongoing efforts, both locally and internationally, to target and dismantle networks linked to both financing of terrorism and related activities, both directly and indirectly. Now, the Muslim Brotherhood is considered a terrorist organisation by the UAE and a number of Arab countries, including Saudi Arabia and Egypt. So do remember that, guys. This is a organization that is considered a terrorist organization, of course, by the United Arab Emirates, other Arab countries, including Saudi Arabia and Egypt. So very, very strong thing. This is coming from Islamic country, and again, I feel that they know a lot more and are a bit more due diligent when it comes to these organizations operating and doing terrorist activities. Now, again, this came out a couple of weeks ago in terms of this information from the UAE, as you probably already know. However, these questions have been put to Labour ministers, and the questions have been raised to Labour ministers on what they're going to do with regard to this. However, in the House of Commons and the footage that we're going to be watching, they basically stated that they weren't really going to be doing anything and would give a statement a bit later. However, time has passed and there is not yet a statement. So watch this clip, guys, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit more.
Yesterday, our allies in the United Arab Emirates announced the fact that 19 entities and individuals have been prescribed and put on their watch list for terrorist links across the world. Very sadly, 8 of those entities exist in the UK and operate freely and are not prescribed. So could we have a statement by a government minister early next week on what action the government is going to take following the actions of the United Arab Emirates to make sure that these Islamist terrorist groups who are linked to the Muslim Brotherhood are prescribed in the UK and not allowed to operate freely?
On the issue of the United Arab Emirates prescribing individuals, as he knows that we are close allies with that country, we work very closely with them, and I will ensure that there is a ministerial response on the matter and the subsequent action that the government is taking on those individuals.
Richard Tice.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What actions will the Home Secretary be taking following the news that 8 UK companies and organisations have been deemed terror groups by the United Arab Emirates?
The UAE is an important international partner for the UK, but of course other countries have their own rules on designation, and it would not be appropriate for the government to comment on their processes. What I can say to the honourable member is that extremism has no place in our society, and that we work very closely with law enforcement, local communities and our international partners to tackle groups and any individuals who seek to sow division and hatred.
So as you can see there, a refusal, of course, to accept this information and say that it's, different, they operate in different laws and all these kind of things. But both did say that they would get a statement on this matter going forward. However, there is no further statement with regard to it. I don't know if those individual parliamentarians who raised the question got some feedback, but certainly the public haven't received any feedback with regard to that. Now, the situation that does concern me, of course, following the incidents and the talking about extremism and talking about threat. I think I spoke on Tusi TV earlier on today as we were talking about extremism and the threat, of course, that it's posed to the United Kingdom. And the MI5's investigation back in October revealed that 75% of the extremist threat within the United Kingdom is, of course, coming from Islamist threat, Muslim threat, or whatever it is in terms of Muslim extremism or Islamist extremism, should I say. And that's a statement from the MI5 back in October that revealed this information. Now, in terms of not learning our lessons as a country, and whilst these organizations, these companies, or whatever, may not be doing anything totally wrong, but it's something to be certainly investigating and trying to understand and getting down to the bottom of what their ties are and what those ties actually mean. Now, I think when an Islamist country like the UAE, Egypt and Saudi Arabia have blacklisted those companies and blacklisted and referred to as these organizations as a threat to a terrorist organization, Muslim Brotherhood thing, then that should get alarm bells ringing. It should be something that should be taken very, very seriously and something that should be looked upon. Again, they revealed these reports recently, but no further information has come on from that. And when it's been discussed in the House of Commons, it's almost been refused to be really been spoken about, and it's certainly been battered down, and just the Coke can or the can has just been kicked down the road and put onto a different person to release a statement with regard to it a little bit later on. But those statements haven't come out. So what do? Do you just sit around and wait? And as stated, these organizations may be fine. There may have been due diligence been taken by. But of course, I do find it alarming when an Islamic country like the UAE have, of course, blacklisted them, frozen the assets, and made it a crime to actually financially support these organizations that were operating in their country, and have alerted the United Kingdom that this was the fact, and nothing, it seems, has been done about this situation. That's the truly troubling fact that I see from all of this. Again, I mean, the Labour MPs, you can talk about them in that individual instance, in the Houses of Parliament, in the Houses of Commons with regard to their answers there. But that's overall the problem. You know, they don't really answer questions properly. I mean, that minister didn't even know how to pronounce the country, despite it being a strong ally. So, again, it's one of those situations where sometimes you just can't quite believe what's being said by these Labour ministers. And of course, are we just, again, ignoring possibilities and ignoring stuff from our allies that there could be a potential threat within the country? And as stated, it might not necessarily be a threat to our country, but certainly something that needs to be looked at and taken very, very seriously when a country is blacklisting an organization and companies due to links to terrorist organizations. And that is a problem. Let's take some comments, guys. I hope you're all doing well. As stated, if you are just joining us in, do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and get involved in the comments. I'm going to take some stuff from the chats, and let's see what people are saying quickly. Let me just get it up. Let's have a little look. Good shout out to Jenny, by the way. Always in these live chats. I always see you. Let's have a little look. 1964 says 750,000 Islamic brothers are still in Gaza. Egypt do not want them back. No, but look, listen, with regards to these kind of situations, you know, you've always got to take it very, very seriously when these countries are sounding the alarms with regard to it. It's been a matter of weeks now since they did alert and did state that there were 8 organizations operating freely within the United Kingdom. And again, it doesn't seem that nothing has been done about it. And that's the kind of response that you get in the Parliament when serious questions are raised. You don't get full answers. You don't get anything. You don't get anything back. And that would certainly, it does frustrate me, genuinely. Yeah, Jenny Welsh says hi. Good to see you all. Thank you. Thank you so much. Someone saying a green top. Brian Allen says a green top. You know my links, don't you? No, of course. It's just it's on the Rangers, of course, but it's just a polo top. You know, it's a polo sport top. Don't necessarily like the colour, but it will do. Yeah. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And do let me know your thoughts on all of this down there in the comment section below. I've been Dan, this has been British Stand, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, look after yourselves.